Welcome to something to talk about.
Hi, welcome to something to talk about. My name is Taco, and I'm here to give you one of those let's talk about the differences. And yeah, what is it, Tuesday? It's a Tuesday today. You gotta want to talk about an elf? No, you don't. You want to talk about a child of the forest? Huh? Little Leaf? You want to talk about a little Leaf? Let's talk about Leaf, right? This is a pretty big one. I'm really excited to talk about Leaf, and yeah, it gave me a reason to listen to like later Bran chapters, and come on, man, those are some good chapters, right? And yeah, I think when it comes to characters that have changed, Leaf is up there. a little different. All right, if you guys don't know what's going on here, my name is Taco. I rant and rave about A Song of Ice and Fire stuff, and in this particular video, I will be giving you a lowdown on Children of the Forest, and then what Leaf gets up to in the Game of Thrones show, and then I will talk about all of her appearances in the A Song of Ice and Fire book series, and heavy spoilers. So she shows up in kind of mid-later show, but late in the books, some of the last chapters, well, in the last book, right? So keep that in mind, major spoilers, and if you guys are ready, first I'm going to say like and subscribe because YouTube likes that when I say it, and also let's go. Children of the Forest, sometimes referred to simply as children, are a mysterious non-human race that originally inhabited Westeros during the Dawn Age, long before the First Men. The giants call them. All right, here we go. Where's my giant? Whoa, Doc, Noggram, meaning little squirrel people. That's fantastic. I love giants. They call themselves those who sing the song of the earth in true tongue. Now, whoa, spoilers. I never really caught that they say true tongue and not first man tongue or old tongue, right? Because the giants speak the old tongue, and the children say the true tongue. I've read / listened to the books many a time, and I don't think I ever caught that. Oh my god! And you guys come to me for information? What are you guys doing, man? Think about it. Think about it. All right. The children had not been seen by man for hundreds of years. The children are smaller than humans, but they are not childlike. Very rarely, one of the children is born with mossy green or blood red eyes. That is a sign that they have been chosen by the old gods. The chosen ones do not live long, but they have a gift of green sight and are known as Greenseers. And once they are bound to the weirwood, which we'll get to later, they live far longer than all the other children. They are bound. They are not. Under the they do not use metal or weave cloth or build cities. It is unknown where they came from. For thousands of years in the Dawn Age, the children and giants shared Westeros. Eventually, between 8,000 and 12,000 years ago, they met the First Men. For thousands of more years, the two races fought for dominance. In a futile attempt to end the invasion, the children used the, quote, hammer of the waters to shatter the arm of Dorne, with the creating the broken arm of Dorne, which is where Dorne is, that whole peninsula, right? And the stepstones. And they tried the same upon the neck, which is why the neck is all swampy, right? Eventually, the First Men and the children fought to a standstill. The two races agreed to a peaceful coexistence and signed the pact on the Isle of Faces, granting the open lands to humanity and the forest to the children, who had been greatly diminished. Yeah, and it gets even more diminished, and now you don't even see me anymore. So yeah, so that would be with the First Men, not the Andals. There's a lot more. I wanted all of that to be on one slide, and I tell you, it took me a lot of I give everything I wanted to say, and it was a lot more, and I almost made 2 slides for Children of the Forest. But I left out the appearance because we're going to get to the appearance when we're talking about just Leaf, right? So that's why I kind of just went over they don't look childlike and moved on. So if you want an actual good description of what they look like, wait for that slide. I didn't see the point in having it multiple slides, and that one was too long, and the Leaf one was less long. You guys ready for the show? All right, man, let's go. The show, Hadouken. I was in a mood. In the television adaptation Game of Thrones, Leaf is portrayed by Octavia Alexandru. All right, you guys got it. In season 4, and that's the picture we got here, and Kae Alexander in season 6. She was also portrayed by Doyin Ajiboye. God, I need to practice these beforehand. In the rejected pilot episode of Bloodmoon. Whoops. Leaf was a child of the Force who fell allegiance. What? Who fell allegiance to the three-eyed raven. I don't know why it said, or I don't know why it said fell. I wrote that. Who has allegiance to the three-eyed raven. When Bran Stark and his companions are attacked by whites as they approach the weirwood tree beyond the wall that they have been searching for, they are saved by Leaf. She uses powerful magic in the form of a Hadouken, that's a Street Fighter reference, to destroy the whites. During the attack, Leaf tells Mira Reed, friend of the channel, to leave her wounded brother Jojen to die, or else they will die with them. Oh man, so Jojen doesn't even make it into the cave. After Mira lets him go, Leaf uses her magic to destroy his lifeless body to prevent him from becoming an animated white. That's hardcore, Leaf. Leaf then tells the group to follow her into the cave, to the base of the heart tree, explaining that whites cannot follow them into the cave. As the whites rush in, they simply just break apart when inside the cave. Bran asks her who she is, and Leaf states that she is one of the children of the forest, as the first men had called them. She then begins to lead the group deep into the cave, and they finally meet the, quote, three-eyed raven who's wrapped in some branches, right? All right, let's keep going. Show, Leaf made the White Walkers. All right, Leaf sits nearby Mira and tells Mira that her destiny is not over, as Bran cannot defend himself in the real world. Leaf is present when the three-eyed raven pulls Bran out of his vision of a skirmish of the Tower of Joy. Bran has a vision of Leaf thousands of years ago in which she uses an obsidian dagger to convert a restrained man into the Night King. All right, a lot to unpack there. Okay, so remember, this is a show version of the Night King. It's not the Night's King. I hope I'm not getting that wrong, but it's not the dude who banged his corpse queen in the back in the day, who was the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. That's that guy. Okay, this is like the ice version of Darth Maul, who can really throw a spear really good, right? That's this guy. And as far as we know, he is not a character in the books, but we do see that he is tied to a tree, and Leaf kind of like plunges some obsidian into his heart. All right, let's keep going. And apparently that turns him into that. So upon waking up, he immediately confronts Leaf about the vision, and Leaf says that the children of the forest were at war, being slaughtered. Their sacred trees were cut down. The children created the walkers to protect them from men. Okay. Leaf prepares the cave's defenses when Bran attracts the attention of the Night's King. When Mira arrives outside of the cave to see what's going on, she, Leaf, and the other children notice the Night King and his army approaching. Leaf then pressures Mira to get Bran and run. Leaf and the other children fight with the whites and with fire, and the White Walkers with dragon glass, but they are killed one by one. When the White Walkers and whites breach the cave, Leaf flees with Mira, Hodor and Bran, right? Leaf stops and tells Mira to keep going, and then lets the whites like get close to her, where she then stabs herself multiple times and activates, or where they stab, sorry, she doesn't stab herself, where they stab her multiple times and activates another explosive device, setting a small section of the whites on fire, but also killing herself in the process. And the group escapes as Hodor does a thing, right? Hodor holds the door. There you guys go. That's the show version. It's so different. Okay. Spoilers. Very different. All right. Let's get into Leaf's appearance here, right? So Leaf is one of the children of the forest in service to the last Greenseer, and her true name is too long for human tongue. Like the other children of the forest, she has nut brown skin, dappled like a deer with paler spots, right? Her hands have only 3 fingers and a thumb with sharp black claws instead of nails. She has large ears that can hear things that no man can hear, and she has large gold and green eyes slitted like those of a cat, allowing her to see in dark passages. Leaf's hair is a tangle of brown, red, gold, sour colors with vines and twigs and withered flowers woven through it, right? And she also wears a cloak of leaves. That's why they call her Leaf, right? Bran Stark thinks that from far away, Leaf looks no older than himself or his sister Sansa or Arya, but close at hand, Leaf seems far older. Her voice is high and sweet, but also sad. She is the only one of the children in the cave of the three-eyed crow who speaks in the common tongue of Westeros. Leaf was born in the time of the Targaryen dynasty in the Seven Kingdoms, right? And she walked the world of men 200 years ago to watch and listen and learn. She says she might be walking still, but her legs were sore and her heart was weary, so she turned her feet for home. You already see a major difference. I didn't even get into it yet, right? All right, okay. Like, she's not even older than the Targaryen dynasty. Making the White Walkers. Okay. Arrival at the we'll get into it later. Arrival at the cave. Cold Hands leads Bran, Hodor, Jojen, Mira, and Summer to a steep, snow-covered hill. They must make their way into the hill in a split in the hill, right? An unnatural cold then descends. Ooh. If you guys didn't know, I just covered Waymar Royce not too long ago, and we really talked about like the others and the immense unnatural cold that happens whenever they're around. So like that's like a warning that we get like literally in the prologue of the first book, that if you're north of the wall and all of a sudden you're like, whew, it wasn't that cold earlier, why'd it get so cold? It's like, go run. Like we know as readers, like, uh-oh, here comes some ice demons. All right, Cold Hands, where was I? Yeah. So an unnatural cold has descended, but the others remain unseen, so they can't see the others yet. The ravens then urge Bran on. Yeah, keep going. We're ravens. Go. Horn. So they start up the hill. Bran on Hodor's back knows something is wrong. Cold Hands continues to climb so Hodor can follow him. He glimpses a fire in the cave entrance when suddenly Hodor trips and falls. A white bursts from the snow, and soon they are surrounded by dead men emerging from under the snow with pale flesh and black hands. Whites attack the group. Summer tears off the arm and throat of a white. Yeah, go Summer. Summer's hardcore. Bran enters the mind of Hodor to help fight off the whites. Something suddenly starts the whites on fire, and a cloud of ravens pour out of the cave, and Bran sees what appears to be a girl who looks like Arya, chasing off the whites with the fire of a torch. Bran then realizes in the cave, what? Oh, he then realizes he's in the cave, so he like kind of gets knocked out and comes up in the cave, right? Mira says that the girl saved them. I'm going to state right now, I did leave a lot out of this fight because there's like a little bit where he gets like covered in snow and he's inside Hodor and he doesn't know how to like save himself. And I left that a lot more because I'm just trying to get them in the cave to see Leaf. But he does kind of just like wake up in there, right? So where was I? So Mira says that the girl saved them, and holding a torch, Leaf says, "Oh, fire burns them. Fire is always hungry." That's gonna be what I'm gonna do for my Leaf. You guys cool with that? Due to his voice, he sees. Due to his voice, I'm not sure what I meant by that. He sees that she is not a girl, but a child of the forest. She explains who she is, and when Mira asks how she knows the common tongue, she says, or why she knows the common tongue, she says, "For him, the Bran boy." So, like, Leaf knew that Bran's coming, right? Then she tells her story about the past 200 years, which we covered already. Cold Hands cannot follow them due to the ward in the cave against dead things. So Cold Hands has to stay out. Then they go deeper underneath roots and across a floor of bones until they reach skeletal body sitting in a throne made of roots. Lord of Bloodraven, the last Greenseer. Yeah, it's Bloodraven. So the three-eyed crow possibly. I don't want to get into that theory right now because this isn't a three-eyed crow video. Nor would I ever do a three-eyed crow video, not exactly a small character. Neither is Leaf. But yeah, he's like Lord Bloodraven, Brendan Rivers, three-eyed crow, whatever you want to call him, the last Greenseer. He's wrapped up in some roots once they get to him. And this is when he says, like, I guess I will say what I mean by I'm not sure if he is the three-eyed crow, because there's a fan theory, but also if you like kind of go through it, it does kind of make a lot of sense that when Bran's like, "Are you a three-eyed crow?" Bloodraven seems to kind of not know what he's talking about. He's like, "Oh, yes, sure." Like, so we're not sure if he's actually the three-eyed crow that has been talking to Bran in his dreams. Anyways, I'm not getting into it. But he says, "Will you like help me walk again?" He says, "You'll never walk, but you will fly." And that's like, when this chapter ends. So yeah, here we go. In the cave. So this is some really awesome art of seeing how wrapped up he is in these roots, right? Bran, Hodor, Jojen, and Mira are still dwelling in the cave of the Children of the Forest and exploring its chambers. Bran sits on a weirwood throne just like this one, with ravens cawing on him. So he's like surrounded. Bran's like surrounded by ravens. It sounds sick. The sounds of song drift up from someplace far below. And Leaf explains about the Children of the Forest to Bran and his companions. Those who sing the song of the earth is what they call themselves in the true tongue, but men cannot speak it. But the ravens can. That's such a weird detail. The ravens can speak it. Okay. Mira calls the little woman who we're talking about here Leaf, as she is always adorned with leaves. She explains that the children of the cave have names too long for human tongues, so Bran and Mira give them other names. Before we get into what those names are, too long for human tongue is a really goofy thing to say. Because I can say things like, I'm doing this whole video. I've done 30 minutes. I'm doing a 3-hour live stream. Like I can talk, right? What do you mean the name is too long? Like I could say paragraphs, dude. Like, and then I'm gonna take the first one and then the second word and shove it together. If you're like, I'm the one who does this and this and this and this and this, I'm gonna say, all right, this, come here. Like, what do you mean too long? Like, that's just such an odd thing to say. Because, we didn't call Pablo Picasso all of his 30 middle names. We just called him Pablo Picasso, even though he had 30 middle names. Look it up. He totally did. So it's just kind of a weird detail. Did they mean like it's too hard to say? That makes more sense. But anyways, enough of that. They call the other children Ash, Scales, Black Knife, Snowy Locks, and Coals. I'm assuming you can guess all why. They probably have one of those things on them because Leaf is just because she's wearing leaves. So I'm assuming somebody had children ash does not sound good, like an ash of children. Oh no, it's children, comma ash. So one of them has like ash on them. The other one is wearing scales. One's just holding a black knife. Snowy Locks just has white like dreadlocks. And Coles, I'm assuming, has like black coal on him. I don't know. Leaf is the only one that can speak the I said the true tongue, but yeah, speak the common tongue. When she asked the last Greenseer, when he asked the last Greenseer who he was, Bran now, when he asked Bloodraven, he explains that he was once named Brynden. Bran tells him about his uncle Brynden, right? Like the Uncle Blackfish. And Leaf explains that most of him has gone into the tree. He has lived beyond his mortal span, and yet he lingers for us, for you, for the realms of men. Only little strength remains in his flesh. He has 1,000 eyes in one. But there is much to watch. One day you will know. So so Bran's like kind of freaked out by that, and then he later asks the Reeds what she meant. Like, what do you mean one day I'll know? And Jojen explains or tells him secrets of the old gods and forgotten truths. So like that's what you're gonna know. You're gonna know secrets of the old gods and forgotten truths. It's a little hardcore. Jojen is growing extremely sad and solemn. I'm just gonna toss that out there. All right, so down on the earth. Bran then wargs to enter Summer and Hodor to explore the Great Cave. So the singers, I'm going to start calling them the singers. I don't like that people, like more often than not, they're normally called the children. The singers is a way cooler name, right? Because they're them who sing the Song of Earth, right? I really like just calling them the singers. So the singers made Bran a throne of his own to sit in. Leaf warns the company not to wander too far into the cave because of its dangers, saying that not even her people have explored all of its passages despite living there for thousands and thousands of years. What? What are you talking about? It's a cave, right? That's it. It's like, how big is this cave? Like, what do you mean you haven't explored thousands and thousands of years? We've explored not a lot of this planet, but a lot of this planet. and it's a planet. And we've had thousands of years. No one's walked around. What kind of dangers? What do you talk? It's so mysterious and terrifying. Like, then who built the cave? Do you guys know why are you in the cave? What are you talking? Like, I don't know. It all kind of freaks me out. Like, yeah, we've been here for thousands of years and we all have like magic abilities or whatever. Well, maybe they do. And she's like, I don't even go down there, dude. Like, down there is kind of scary. All right. So where was I? Yeah, Bran, she warns not to go down there because of its dangers, saying that not even her people have done it. The three-eyed crow teaches Bran how to enter ravens, and this is when we get a cool monologue about like how every raven has a children of the forest inside it, which is crazy. He learns that the ravens around the three-eyed crow have children who have passed away and remain in the skins of these animals. Bran asks Leaf where the rest of them are, and she says, "Gone down into the earth, into the stones, into the trees. Before the first men came, all this land that you call Westeros was home to us. Yet, even in those days, there were few. The gods gave us long lives, but not great numbers, lest we overrun the world as deer overrun the wood, where there are no wolves to hunt them. That was in the dawn of days, when our sun was rising. Now it sinks, and this is our long dwindling. The giants are almost gone as well. They were where our bane of our brothers. Okay. They who were all right, whatever. The great lions of the western hills have been slain. The unicorns are all but gone. The mammoths are down to a few hundred. The dire wolves will outlast us all, but their time will come as well. In the world that men have made, there is no room for them or us. Leaf seemed sad when she says it, and then Bran thinks that a man would not be sad, they would be angry. And that's like kind of like he's like kind of noticing the difference between her temperament and like a man. Like if I was like one of the last guy like humans, right? And if I was talking to somebody and it's like, yeah, this other race came and they broke all these pacts and now we're almost dead, we would be a little upset about it, right? Be like, I hate them. I hate that they're doing this. And she just seems sad. At least that's what Bran thinks, is like, wow, a man would be angry, but you're kind of just sad about it. Anyways, deep in the tree, as exploring the cave as Hodor, when exploring the cave as Hodor, he sees singers. So this is Bran talking. So this he's exploring the cave and he sees singers, as in children of the forest, in weirwood thrones with roots moving through them, just like Bloodraven, right? The singers look dead, but their eyes would open and follow him, and one of them tried to speak. Whoa. That is such a, like, I don't think I noticed that line the first time I read it. Of course, I've noticed it since, but like, how terrifying. So these children of the forest, Greenseers, hook themselves to this tree hundreds, thousands of thousands of years ago, and they're just like, and they don't have lives anymore. They don't talk. They just Greenseer stuff, right? They're just looking around, whatever the heck a Greenseer does, looking through time and space, right? And one of them wakes up, or some of them like just open their eyes and then just follow Bran as he walks by. That's scary enough. But the fact that one of them opened and then went, like, tried to talk, but of course there's probably like no saliva. Their bodies are barely alive. Like there's no like you can't even talk. Like, dude, run. Sorry. This whole time, like going through these chapters now, I'm like, Bran, this doesn't seem safe. Go, buddy. All right. Where was I? Jojen is acting super weird, and Mira, friend of the channel, says that he will not try and fight his fate. Whatever that means. They don't really explain it to Bran. He's like acting like he's gonna die soon, and then he's really sad about it. And Leaf tries to talk to Jojen, and Jojen's like, I won't fight my fate. Yeah. So Leaf helps Lord Brendan train Bran as a Greenseer, and then she says, the trees will teach him. Leaf said, as the singer named Snowy Locks, so this is actually the picture we got here, this Snowy Locks, came forward with a weirwood bowl filled with white paste and red veins. All right. You must eat this. Eat of this, Leaf tells him. A paste of weirwood seeds. She tells him, but the look of them makes Bran sick almost immediately. And he thinks that the red veins look like blood. So it's like white paste with red veins in it, right? So yeah, he says he thinks it looks like blood, and he asks if it will make him a Greenseer, and Brendan says that it is his blood that makes him one, but this will awaken his gifts and wed him to the trees. Bran, run! You're in a cult. Call your dad. He eats the paste and he calms, and it calms. He claims he doesn't feel any different. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Claims, not calms. That's even what's written there. And he claims he doesn't feel any different. So he's like, is this going to make me feel different? He eats them and he's like, it doesn't make me feel different. There's some really cool thing about like how the first bite is really nasty, but then the second bite tastes good. And then the third bite's like trippy. He's like, and then it tastes of I can't remember the exact quote, but like the last time I kissed my mom, and it's like, okay, you're tripping now. Like, it tastes like crap. Oh, the second taste is good. It's because you're already high. Nope, go back to the first one. Don't trust it. All right. Don't trust your senses when you're tripping. Your perception is lying to you. All right. I don't know. What? I've never done drugs. Okay. So where was I? So he says he doesn't feel any different. And Leaf touches his hand and says, "The trees will teach you. The trees remember." The singers then put the lights out, right? They shut off the lights. And Brendan tells him to close his eyes and go into the tree. So when Bran does, he sees a vision of his late father, Eddard Stark, in the Godswood of Winterfell. And he speaks, he speaks Winterfell, like little Bran voice, right? And Ned acts like he hears him. And Ned goes, "Who's there?" And frightened, Bran pulls out of it, right? When Bran then tells Leaf what he saw, Leaf warns Bran, "Do not seek to call him back from death." She tells him, "You saw what you wished to see. Your heart yearns for your father and your home. That is what you saw." All right, that's it. And then we get into some big tripping for Bran, right? Whoa, that's not what he tried to do. He said Winterfell, and Ned's like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Don't pull him back from death." What are you talking? Can he do that? Can he pull him back from death? There is like a Brendan monologue where he's like, he sees he's got people who he loved and he can't pull them back from death or whatever. But that is such a weird line. Like, I said hello. I wasn't trying to resurrect him. What are you talking about? Yeah, yeah, it's super creepy. And going back through it again today, or not today, but for this video, yeah, like it's got such a different vibe from the show. It's got such a scary vibe. It's creepy stuff. All right, so let's talk about the differences. That's what we're doing here. So we got differences, and also she is old Nan. We'll talk about it. All right. So many differences, right? She was born in the time of the Targaryen dynasty, not thousands of years ago. Okay, that's the first one, right? Just a couple hundred. Within the last 300 years, she was born, right? So she did not make the quote White Walkers, or the others for that matter, because the books doesn't call them White Walkers. Also, she looks very different in the show. The show left out the large ears and the cat eyes. They skip pretty much all of the cave stuff. We just get different cave stuff, and we never even see the paste. And the visions Bran has are very different, right? Like, we don't see the Tower of Joy in the books. Also, I think she just lights the whites on fire with a torch and not a fighting game fireball. So if you think that she lights them on fire with magic, possibly. I don't know. I went through it and I didn't, I was listening to that specifically. Like, does she and she's holding a torch and a couple of them start on fire. I don't know. Does she throw a fireball? Like, maybe you interpreted that way. Maybe I missed the line. I did try to listen to it, to try to find. But as far as I know, she just lights them on fire with torches. She doesn't actually have Hadouken fireballs, right? As far as I know of. I mean, maybe she does. Maybe she's maybe she knows all about Shotokan karate. Anyways. Street Fighter jokes going anywhere besides what she is being a Children of the Forest and her location. I don't see any similarity. No, really, there isn't much. Her name's Leaf. She's a child of the forest who lives with Brendan. That's kind of about where it goes. That's about as far as it goes. I really do love Leaf, in these chapters, like I said, are just uber creepy, and yeah, give me the Ghiblies. Now I do got a theory for you. One that speculates on Leaf's time as she walked among the humans, right? Friend of the channel, Michael Talks About Stuff, has a crazy video called "Old Nan is a Child of the Forest Using a Glamour and Working with Bloodraven," and I'll drop a link. So I have this guy on live streams, and I've talked about him multiple times. I've talked to him multiple times, and he's brought me up a few times. But I want you to know that I was buying snacks right before a live stream once, right? And I was listening to like, oh, this guy's going to be on my live stream. I don't even know who he is. I should listen to some stuff. And the first video I clicked was this one. And I was like, this dude's crazy. Like, old man is Leaf and also Nettles. It's like, so I forever have been giving him crap about this. But honestly, Michael Talks About Stuff is extremely good at what he does. And believe it or not, you might actually believe this when you're done. And I want to share this video with you because also it's about Leaf. But really because it was like my introduction to Michael, and it led me to completely loving his content and now being friends with him, right? Like, I consider him a friend. We talk about football sometimes even. Packers fan. Ugh. But anyways, if you don't know Michael Talks About Stuff, or if you just want to rewatch that video, click the link in the description because it's really good. And there you guys go. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you didn't. What do you think of Leaf? Is this chapter terrifying? I think so. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I did kind of move over Jojen paste because again, this video isn't really about that. But yes, of course, the Jojen paste / the weirwood paste. There's a huge theory that is Jojen, and that's why Jojen was acting so solemn. Is because he was gonna get chopped up into paste to awaken. So yeah, do I believe that's true? Yeah, I think Jojen paste, when it comes to theories, I think Jojen paste is pretty, I don't really believe much 100% if I haven't seen it, but Jojen paste, I would put money on it. I think it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, there's probably some other stuff I was going to bring up, but I forgot. What do you guys think of Leaf? All that other stuff, the stuff I already said. I didn't need to say bye twice. Click the link in the description to go watch Michael's video, and then tell him I sent you. Say Taco sent us, or Large Marge sent us. All right. Peace.